Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive? We're going to explore AI agents today. And we've got some really cool sources, an IBM article that lays it all out, and then this lecture on intelligent agents too. It's way more than just your typical chatbot stuff, trust me.
Oh, yeah, way more.
So get ready.
It's fascinating stuff.
So the IBM article, it really emphasizes that AI agents are not just about, talking, you know. They can actually take on tasks, all on their own, like designing software, automating IT processes, or even generating code, those tools that seem to, write code for you. AI agents are behind those.
Exactly. It's it's not just about the interface, like a chatbot. AI agents operate within this whole framework, like this set of rules and capabilities that allow them to actually make decisions and act independently.
Oh, that's
And
interesting.
it is that agency that's really transformative.
So it's instead of just responding to commands, they're actually figuring things out
Exactly.
on their own.
That ties into, the lectures focus on rationality, too. These AI agents, they gather information, they process it, they use it to make decisions.
Wow.
It's not just about reacting, it's about understanding and acting strategically.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And the article breaks it down, how they work into 3 stages: goal initialization and planning, reasoning using available tools, and learning and reflection, almost like a super smart intern, but digital.
Yeah, it's a good way to think about it.
Yeah. So first you would give your AI agent the task and the tools it needs. That's setting the project scope.
Right.
Then it uses those tools, things like databases, APIs. APIs, by the way, are like messengers that let different software programs talk to each other.
Yeah.
And it uses these to figure out the best way to get things done. So it's like research and collaboration, but for AI.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then don't forget the learning part. AI agents can actually break down complex tasks into smaller steps. Sort of like delegating. They even adjust based on feedback. So it's not just a one-time thing. They're constantly getting better.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, so let's talk about how these AI agents actually make decisions. The IBM article talks about 2 approaches: react and re-WO. I'll admit, these sound a little technical.
Yeah.
But they're not as complicated as they sound.
Okay, good.
So think of react. That stands for reasoning and action, like cooking by taste,
Yeah.
You try something, see how it turns out, and adjust as you go. So the AI agent is constantly checking in and refining its approach.
So it's more of an iterative process, trying things out and learning as it goes.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, re-WO, which stands for reasoning without observation, is more like following a recipe. Everything is planned up front to minimize wasted effort.
Oh,
It's great for tasks where you want to be super efficient, and you don't need a lot of flexibility.
that makes sense. So re-WO would be perfect for something like optimizing a delivery route, where the variables are pretty predictable. But if you're dealing with something more unpredictable, like, say, designing a new product based on constantly evolving customer feedback, then maybe React would be the way to go. You got it. It really depends on the specific task and what you're trying to achieve, like choosing the right tool for the job. Now, speaking of different tools, the IBM article also talks about different types of AI agents. They range from basic to super sophisticated. It's like an evolution of intelligence. But in the AI world...
Okay, I'm ready for this AI evolution lesson. Give me the rundown.
All right, so we start with simple reflex agents. These are pretty basic, operating on set rules. Think of a thermostat. If the temperature drops below a certain point, it turns on the heat. Simple as that.
Got it. So simple reflex agents are all about following pre-programmed rules. What's next on the evolutionary ladder?
Next up are model-based reflex agents. They're a bit smarter because they can actually, remember some things about the past. Imagine a robot vacuum cleaner navigating your living room.
Yeah.
It remembers where it's already cleaned, so it doesn't waste time going over the same spot.
So it's like they have a little bit of memory, which helps them make better decisions.
Exactly. Then we get to, the really interesting stuff. Goal-based agents actually have a purpose, like a navigation app getting you to your destination.
Right.
It's not just reacting to the environment, it's working towards a specific goal.
Okay, so they have an objective in mind. What about utility-based agents? Those sound pretty high level.
They are. Utility-based agents are all about finding the best outcome, taking into account multiple factors. They might weigh different options and choose the one that maximizes efficiency, minimizes risk, or achieves some other desired outcome.
So they're like master strategists, thinking several steps ahead and optimizing for the best possible outcome.
That's a great way to put it. And finally, at the top of the AI hierarchy, we have the learning agents. These are the most advanced. They evolve and personalize their responses over time, just like those recommendation algorithms that seem to know your taste better than you do.
That's a little spooky, but also kind of cool.
No.
So we've got this whole spectrum of AI agents, from simple rule followers to highly adaptable learners. It's pretty amazing to think how far this technology has come.
It really is. And the exciting part is that these different types of AI agents can work together in these multi-agent systems,
Right.
creating this powerful network of intelligence.
Wow. Now, before we get too lost in all this AI awesomeness, let's talk about some real-world applications.
Yeah.
I mean, where are we actually seeing AI agents being used today? The IBM article highlights some really cool examples, like AI agents being used in customer service. I can definitely see how that would be helpful.
Absolutely. Instead of waiting on hold forever, you could have an AI agent that can understand your request, access your account information, and maybe even resolve the issue without needing to transfer you to a human representative.
That would be a game changer. No more navigating those endless phone menus. What other areas are ripe for AI agent disruption?
Well, healthcare is another one with huge potential. Imagine AI agents helping doctors diagnose diseases more accurately, personalize treatment plans, and even monitor patients remotely.
I'm picturing an AI agent that analyzes your medical history, flags potential risks, and even reminds you to take your medication. It could really improve patient care and outcomes.
Exactly. And it's not just about efficiency. AI agents could also help us tackle some of the biggest challenges facing humanity. Think about climate change, for example. AI agents could be used to optimize energy consumption, reduce waste, and even develop new sustainable technologies.
Wow, so we're talking about AI agents that could potentially help us save the planet. That's pretty incredible.
It is, but it's important to remember that AI agents are tools, and like any tool, they can be used for good or bad. The IBM article does mention some potential risks and limitations that we need to be aware of.
Okay, so let's not get too carried away with all the positive potential. What are some of the downsides we need to consider?
One potential risk is the possibility of system-wide failures in multi-agent frameworks. These are systems where multiple AI agents are working together to achieve a common goal.
So what could go wrong in that kind of setup? It sounds like it could be pretty complex.
Well, imagine a network of AI agents controlling traffic flow in a city. If there's a flaw in the system, it could cascade through the entire network, leading to gridlock or even accidents. It's like a domino effect, but with potentially serious consequences.
That's a bit unsettling. So it's not just about one AI agent going rogue. It's about the whole system potentially breaking down.
Right. And then there's the risk of something called infinite feedback loops. This is where an AI agent gets stuck in a cycle, repeating the same action over and over without achieving its goal. It's like a computer program that's gone haywire.
Can you give me a real-world example of how that might happen?
Sure, imagine an AI agent designed to manage inventory for a retail store. If it's not programmed properly, it could end up ordering too much of a certain product, leading to excess inventory. Then it might try to correct the problem by slashing prices, which could trigger a wave of panic buying and further exacerbate the problem.
So it's like a runaway train, spiraling out of control. That definitely highlights the need for careful design and oversight.
Exactly, and that's why the IBM article stresses the importance of human oversight and control.
Okay, so we've got these potential risks, but surely there are ways to mitigate them. What does the article suggest?
One key recommendation is transparency. The idea is that AI agents should be designed in a way that allows users to understand what actions they're taking and why. It's like having a detailed log of the AI's thought process.
That makes sense. If we can see how the AI is making decisions, we're more likely to catch errors or potential problems before they escalate.
Right. Another important concept is interruptibility. This means having a mechanism to stop an AI agent. If it's going off track or causing harm, it's like having an emergency shutoff button.
That sounds crucial, especially in situations where the AI agent is controlling something critical, like a power grid or a transportation system.
Absolutely. And then there's the issue of accountability. If an AI agent does something wrong, how do we know who's responsible?
That's a really important question. It seems like it could get pretty complicated, especially as these systems become more complex.
It can. That's why the IBM article suggests using unique identifiers for each AI agent. This would allow us to trace its actions back to its developers, its deployers, and even the user. It's like a digital fingerprint for accountability.
So it's all about creating a system of checks and balances to ensure that these powerful AI agents are used responsibly.
Precisely. We need to strike a balance between AI autonomy and human control, recognizing both the immense potential of this technology and the potential risks involved.
It definitely feels like we're entering a new era, one where AI agents are going to play an increasingly significant role in our lives.
Yeah.
It's exciting, and maybe even a little daunting to think about all the possibilities. But with all this talk about risks and safeguards, it makes you wonder, how do we make sure these AI agents are actually used for good?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's like we're handing these incredibly powerful tools to humanity, and it's up to us to figure out how to use them wisely.
I mean, we've seen plenty of science fiction movies where AI goes wrong. Are we just setting ourselves up for a real-life dystopian scenario?
Not necessarily. I think the key is to be proactive, not reactive. We need to be thinking about these ethical implications now, before the technology advances even further.
So it's not just about building safeguards into the systems themselves. It's about fostering a culture of responsible AI development and use.
Exactly. It's about education, open dialogue, and collaboration between policymakers, researchers, and the public. We need to have a shared understanding of the potential benefits and risks of AI, and we need to work together to ensure that it's used for the betterment of humanity.
Well said. This whole deep dive into the world of AI agents has been quite a journey. We've gone from basic definitions to complex decision-making paradigms, from the potential to revolutionize industries to the need for ethical safeguards. It's a lot to process.
It is, and it's just the beginning. The field of AI is constantly evolving, and what we know today might be outdated tomorrow. That's why it's so important to stay curious, to keep learning and exploring.
And what's the biggest takeaway for you? What's sticking with you from all this?
For me, it's the realization that AI is not just some abstract concept anymore. It's becoming increasingly integrated into our lives. And it's going to have a profound impact on how we work, how we live, and how we interact with the world around us.
And that means we all have a responsibility to engage with this technology thoughtfully and critically. We can't just sit back and let it happen. We need to be active participants in shaping the future of AI.
Couldn't agree more. The future of AI is not predetermined. It's something we're creating together right now, through the choices we make and the actions we take.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this thought. As AI agents become more sophisticated and ubiquitous, the questions we've discussed today will only become more pressing. So stay informed, stay engaged, and keep asking those tough questions. The future of AI depends on it. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI agents. Until next time, stay curious.